Hello, you guys. It is Ebony. It is I. So today we are pretty in pink. Anyways, you guys, before we get into this, today is Wednesday. It's like Wednesday evening. My birthday is on Friday. I'm feeling like a star girl. I'm so overwhelmed, you guys. Like, I'm trying to make some last minute plans for my birthday, and like, you ever just get so overstimulated you don't want to do anything? I'm this close to just doing some corny ass shit and just sitting in my house, like more than anything, I just don't want to be annoyed. I don't want to force it. I don't want to do anything that makes me feel a nerd, because I think that is actually the worst indicator for the year. I'm very specific on the day of not necessarily being perfect, but being something that resonates throughout the year. And I feel like last year was very like it was very the kind of year I went through. Not horrible, but kind of small. And I'm like, I need to step it up. Like, I need to step my cookies up. It was definitely about learning about myself and what I liked, for sure. I actually think I wore this shirt on my birthday last year. I actually think I did. But like, it was simple, and I'm like, simple is not bad, and I don't want to stay in my house, but like, I'm at the point where I might just have to do that. Like, yeah. Anyways, you guys, I reinstalled my microlocs, or my microloc extensions. Basically, what I ended up doing was okay, so my hair at the time, I've been locked. Oh, my lock anniversary is 11/11. It was going to be 5 years in November this year, because of my husband Zoro, right? But like, honestly, the last set of intentions that I had, I also put them in November of last year. But like, when I put those in, my hair was just so broken and so damaged from color. The thing about it is, as someone who has had locks for almost 5 years at this point, well, technically 6 years, I had like a shorter stint of like regular locks at one point in time, but they were just way too big for my hair. My hair is obviously very thin, very fine. Like, full size locks just did not look good on me, right? But over about 5 to 6 years of like dyeing my hair, there was an embarrassingly long time where I was very obviously improperly dyeing my locks. And so it contributed to breakage. But you know what? As someone with very thin and very fine hair, I actually don't even feel like that was the majority or the worst culprit for my breakage. I actually think infrequent reties was the biggest reason why I was facing so much breakage. Like, I'll never forget. It might have been one summer of like maybe like 2023, 2024. I went normally, like, especially these days, I go at most like 6 weeks, maybe seven, when it comes to retying my locks. I do not let it get to week 8 and I haven't done it. And especially my edges in the front, those bitches are like week 5, right? I'm constantly maintaining them because they're just so thin. But there was one time where I let myself go maybe 12 weeks thinking I'm one of these thick hair bitches, baby girl. And my hair was never the same. Like, especially after that point, that was when I was losing like an inch of hair, 2 inches of hair. And so by the time that I had cut my locks the other day, like, I had some locks that were basically bra strap length, and then I had other locks that were like 2 inches long, right? Because they had broken off and they had come back, and then obviously color was not helping. I will say that by the time that I got into having like a proper moisture routine, it honestly was low-key a little bit too late. Like, it was a little bit too late to salvage like my hair. But I did maintain it for the past couple of years, and I've definitely perfected my moisture routine. What I use and what I plan to use, because I'm gonna be honest, you guys, I don't plan to stop coloring my hair. I hate to say it. I really hate to say it. I am a redhead through and through. I just don't look good with dark hair. I just don't. I was talking about this in my last TBFS video. I just do not look good with black hair. When I actually first did my locks, I dyed my hair completely black, trying to have it like, be even. I hated it. It was terrible. I don't like being a natural one. I don't like being a natural 1B. I don't think dark hair is for me. I don't think it suits me. I don't think it flatters me. I can do it for a moment, for a period, for a phase, but I do not want my hair to ever be black for an extended amount of time if it's up to me. It just does not look good on me. So, because color is going to be in my life, a proper moisture routine is going to be in my life. And so, as someone with colored locks, there are ways for you to sort of maintain your hair health. At the end of the day, like, because you're coloring your hair, you are exposing your hair to damage. It's, you got to pick your poison, right? And like I said, I'm not going without color. So so right now I do practice the LOC method. For my leave-in conditioners, I love to use Amika. I actually use the Amika Dream routine. It's actually technically a hair mask that you're only supposed to use once a month, but yes, I use it every single time I wash my hair. Every single time, because I do have dry hair, like hair that is drier than normal. I love it, and I started using it. I actually got it as a sample at Sephora, and so I loved it. At the time, I didn't use any product on my locks, which, like I said, because I have colored hair, is not an option for me. But I loved it at the time because it has a lot of hydration, but the slip on it is great. It's not a super thick formula, but at some point, it just was not enough. Even though I did love the way that it felt adding it to my hair, it literally makes your hair feel like silk. Like it has like this velveteen covering to it. It's definitely for the girls who want product in their hair or want extra moisture, but they don't want a lot. I would absolutely recommend that. But I've also elevated to using that as well as their actual leave-in conditioner, like the Hydro Rush leave-in conditioner. That one has a little bit more weight to it, but it's also still not overdoing it for me. I love to use them together. I just, I really do recommend Amika products for natural hair. As someone who's actually worked in a Sephora, that's definitely my go-to in terms of curly girl friendly things. Like I would, if you're worried about product that weighs your hair down, I don't think you have to worry too much about using the two of those in tandem or any other products really. I was not an oil girly. I've never been an oil girly. Like I know that people like have talked about how oils can be dangerous to natural hair, which I guess I agree with, but I never used it before then, so I really don't have a hat in the game to complain against it. But I actually have recently gotten into using keratin oil. Like, let me tell you something. Unfortunately, I frequent Marshalls and TJ Maxx and Burlington. Frequent the department stores often, and so I just go in there looking for bullshit that I can find. Like the same way that people go into the beauty supply store and have too much fun, that's exactly what I do when I go into a motherfucking Marshalls. And I stumbled upon this, I believe it's pronounced Lucetta Keratin hair oil, and I plan to continue using it. Now, to be very fair and to be very transparent, I literally just started using this, right? I will say immediately, because keratin is obviously protein heavy, it is a little bit heavy on my hair, so I don't know that I'll be using this for every single wash day, but I do think it's important if you plan to keep dyeing your hair to add more keratin back into it because you're stripping your hair so often and so roughly. I don't use that much. I will say that I definitely felt a heavy feel on my hair after I used it, even before I got to the stronger conditioners. Or sorry, before I got to the stronger creams, I felt like it's almost like my hair has not felt what it's like to have protein. And so, like I said, like let's see in about a month or two if I still feel like it's necessary. But I felt like when I immediately used it, I did notice an immediate heaviness. I know keratin can kind of make your head hurt a little bit, but I do feel like it's something that is necessary for dyed hair. Like I do think it's a good thing, and above all things, I'm just trying different things out to see if they will definitely help me maintain my hair. Lastly, what I use for my creams is I use the mango and shea butter from, I believe, Cream of Nature. It's a leave-in conditioner. That one I really use for smell. Also that one is really for like the loose natural girls. Like sometimes if I have like a curly wig, I'll put it on the wig and it makes the curls fucking pop. I definitely think that's my favorite product for defining curls, but I'll use it just for added moisture. Like I said, um mostly for smell. Also, because of the size of my microlocs, it's very easy. I curl my hair a lot, but I have a tendency to use hot tools. And so I do think that I'm probably going to move to like rod sets. I probably should be doing more rod sets, but they're uncomfortable because my hair is parted so small. It's actually very easy for me to do wand curls. These are actually wand curls. They've unfortunately fallen a little bit, so I feel like they're not really in all of their glory, but they always look good. Whenever I style my hair, like I'll insert a couple pictures. Whenever I style my hair and I have curls in it, 9 times out of 10, it's a wand curl. Sometimes I will put it on a perm rod afterwards to let it like dry and let it set, especially if I want a very specific like ringlet. Just because a perm rod is going to be different from the general like wand curl, but for the most part, I'm using a wand curler. I just I think that it might even make the rod sets come out a little bit better because it is actually super super great for definition. I just don't have the kind of hair right now that needs a lot of definition, to be very honest. Last but not least, the product I feel like has been single-handedly the most influential in my colored hair like lock routine is the moisture lotion from Sacred. I might be misquoting that. I don't remember exactly the name of it. Let me tell you something. This is very revolutionary to me because, like I said, there was a point in time where when I did my locks, when I washed my locks, I would not put any product in them, basically no product in them afterwards. Because honestly, for the most part, for the majority of people, you don't really have to use product, right? You really don't need it on locks. Like there are people who put gels and stuff in their hair. There are people who put a whole bunch of creams and stuff and like that. But if you maintain your hair the way you're supposed to, you really don't need it. Obviously, depending on lifestyle, you may find yourself needing product. But something I noticed that every single time I would color my hair, and I'll talk about what I used to color my hair as well. But every single time I would color my hair would feel so, it would hurt. Like, but it's not like my scalp was experiencing burns. Like my hair just felt like straw, painful straw attached to my scalp. It did not make sense the way that my strands of hair, like my locks, would hurt every single time I dyed my hair, because like I said, I wasn't properly dyeing. I will discuss the product that I'm using. It's user error. It's definitely not the product itself. I love the product. I will continue to dye my hair with that. But my locks would hurt. Like, I don't know how to, like, they were just so weak that they, like, the wind could blow and my locks would be like, yo, what the fuck. It felt like they were in pain to be attached to my scalp. It's not that my scalp itself hurt. It's quite literally like my hair was so stripped that any sort of weight on it was just like uncomfortable. The very first time I used that lotion, I promise you, the next time I dyed my hair, it was the first time ever I dyed my hair and I wasn't in pain. I was like, you guys, my hair actually feels like hair, even though I've kind of stripped it, on every single level. I will say it is heavy. It doesn't have a bad smell, but it doesn't have like it. I don't. To be fair, a lot of good hair products are not going to smell amazing, and that's why I like to compensate with a cream of nature product or whatever. Uh, but it's so amazing at bringing moisture back into my hair. My hair has literally never ever felt as weak as it used to before. I will say I'm somebody who tried like the Sacred Edge drops, and I thought that they were pretty good, but personally I stopped using them after maybe 2 or 3 months, because the cost is what, closer to like $60, and you have to refill it every month. It's not a product that's lasting you 2 and 3 months, especially because it asks you to, I don't know if it asks you to use it twice a day. Or once a day every single day, but for me it just wasn't lasting more than a month. So I was like, you know what, Sacred, as amazing as you are and pivotal as you are to hair growth, that wasn't for me. But I ended up, because I like that product, but I was just like, it's really not feasible and I'm not seeing amazing results. Like I said, I have thin hair. Like, even if I lose an edge, it's not going to come back, and it's not going to be, this wild Amazonian Brazilian bust down full of edge. Like, I'm okay with having a thin edge. But because I couldn't really gel with that product, I was like, because I actually like the line and I do think it's quality, let me try something else. And my hair was really in need of that product, of that moisturizing lotion, and it literally saved my hair. And like, it's the reason why I feel like at this point in time my hair has been able to survive the hair dyeing I've done since that point. My scalp never feels dry. My hair always feels hydrated as someone who has dyed hair. I know, trust me, I know what dry hair, chronically dry hair feels like. My hair has never been dry again. That's something that it will be a staple. As long as she sells that product, it will be a staple in my hair routine. As long as it exists, it will always be bought. It will always, I don't care if it's $40, it's worth it. It's a huge bottle. It's absolutely worth the money. Absolutely. But yeah, to dye my hair, I use the L'Oreal High Color in the shade Red. um like I said, a lot of the issues I was having with chronically dry and damaged hair from that is the fact that whenever I would re-dye my hair, you guys, I wouldn't just re-dye the root like you're supposed to, because the high color is always supposed to be applied on virgin dark hair. I would reapply it to the entire ends, the entirety of my hair, you guys, the entirety of my hair, the entirety of the red that I had on my hair, almost for 3 to 4 years. Every single time, of course, my hair I would get out of that dye in the shower and be like, why is my scalp motherfucking screaming, bitch? That, on top of infrequent reties on dry, thin hair, I was asking for hell on earth, and I got it. Trust me. I got it. I really did. I cut it really to start over, so I'll just demonstrate to you guys. I also have some hair tinsel in. I don't know if you guys can really see it in all its glory on camera, but in person you can definitely see the metallic parts of my hair. But I cut my hair about 3 inches down. About 3 inches down. It's not a super even cut throughout my head, but it is, for the most part, anywhere from like an inch and a half to like 3 inches of hair. I have matured locks at this point, but I cut off the majority of my hair. Like I said, the unevenness was the worst part for me. It wasn't even the dye itself, or like the feel of my hair, because like I said, the moisture and stuff came back. Like, it was not the moisture, it was the fact that I had locks that were bra strap length, and then I had other locks that are like right here. Because like I said, to me, my biggest enemy is a fucked up retie. Is waiting too long to retie. But yeah, basically with these extensions, I know some people have done braid locks. I'm gonna be honest, I do my hair for the most part by myself. Microlocs maintenance is not cheap. Lock maintenance in general is not cheap, but microloc maintenance is not cheap. So I've always self-maintained my locks. But instead of doing braid locks, because I do my hair myself, I'm gonna be honest. The reason why I ended up with twists is because I'm motherfucking lazy and I was not about to do 200 plus micro braids on my head. I don't actually know how many locks that I have, but like I said, I don't have a lot of hair. It's definitely somewhere around. It's somewhere between 200 and 300 though. But yeah, all I did was crochet the hair through the lock, through a stable part of the lock, literally micro braid and then twist at some point to add in this hair tinsel. I literally just braided it into the hair as I went. Actually, I added it afterwards, but I still did my best. Like whatever loose strands of hair on the outside, I just braided it. If you guys want like an in-depth tutorial, please just let me know. But yeah, like I just wanted to talk about my log journey because this is technically my third log journey, even though I like, you know what it is also. Once I put in these micro locks, when I did at the end of 2021, I was like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm never undoing another set of locks because I did it with my first set. It was so like, I don't even know if I want to insert pictures of that because it was so fucked up. It was so flat. Like like it just did not look good at all. But I combed those out because they were larger and so they were easier to comb out. And once I put my micro locks in, I said, let me tell you something, baby. I'm never combing these fucking micro locks out. If I want to start over, I'm cutting these bitches off my head. But this is technically my third log journey because I am starting over from very, very short hair. You just can't tell. I decided to give myself a bob. A lot of the girls who you see have like braid locks or lock extensions, they'll go super long. On the last set of extensions I had, they were like mid length. They weren't super, super long. They were like 2018 or whatever. But I decided to go with the bob this time because it's summer. It feels new. It feels fresh. It feels a little bit grown to me. But in a weird way, it reminds me a lot of my childhood. Like I saw somebody describe lock extensions as like those are kinky twists, like you have kinky twists in your head. And I really did want to go back to that point in my life where I was a kinky twist girl. I always look back at my childhood and I got braids so frequently because my mother did not know what to do with loose natural hair, right? And that's a whole story within itself. But I constantly had my hair in braids and twists. And it reminds me a lot of my childhood, yes, but it really like I feel like locks were always in the cards for me because I always had my hair plaited. I always had my hair tied up and tucked away and in parts and pieces, and that's just the best way for me to navigate it. I cannot be loose natural. You guys, I have a scoop of hair. Like I literally like my hair is so thin. Being loose natural was just never going to flatter me. I really respect the girls who are type 4 who have thin and fine hair who decide to be loose natural. Bitch, you are God's strongest soldier because me, I had a real issue with maintaining length. I didn't know, like I said, if you think my moisture routine was fucked up with my locks, imagine how bad it was when I had loose natural hair. That's why I wanted to locks just dying the bitches and didn't know what to do. It would have never worked for me. So I'm really excited to um, start over my hair, but be able to kind of share this with you guys. I've been interested in beauty matters for a really, 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 really long time. If you know, you know. If you follow me, honestly, a lot of you guys probably don't know because a lot of you guys are kind of new to me and my content. Although I know I have some haters who have been here for a really long time, and bitch, you know me. I've never been a hair girl, especially like a natural hair girl. So it's gonna be really, it's like not new to me. It's not new to me to talk about beauty, but it's definitely new to talk about natural hair. I'm really excited to show you guys more styling that I do with my locks and with my natural hair in general. To encourage more people to try them. They're so beautiful. They're so convenient. Like I said, if you've ever struggled with maintaining length, with really taking care of loose natural hair as a type 4 girl, I always say get locks. I tell everyone get locks. Like I said, I am never in my life ever coming out a lock set, but you can come out locks. So like you can try them. There are a lot of people who try them for years and they're like, I want to go loose natural, and they already have some built up length and things that they can refer to. Me, no such thing, but it definitely is possible. They're versatile, they're natural. All you have to do is just really leave them be and let them flourish. And I can't wait to kind of go through this process with you guys. But yeah, in general, it's just been really this whole thing has been so spiritual. And like because this is a spirituality channel, or has been, I'm just gonna talk about that a little bit. Because there is like a greater testimony or a greater purpose tied to this. I think it's really weird how things have been occurring for me. So I just want to discuss that a little bit. But yeah, basically, it's like I said, it's about to be my birthday. Um, but basically, maybe like what day is it? Today is the 12th. Maybe like I started doing my hair on like Thursday, so maybe like maybe last Thursday, last Friday, like I'll just like around the 8th. I have this grand aunt, not my grandmother, but my grandmother's younger sister, and her name. Dang, should I say her name? I won't say her name. I'm gonna make reference to it. If you know, you know. Anyways, um, but basically, she has a hair salon, and my name is actually in the name of that hair salon. I always make fun of the fact that I'm a Leo, and I think that me being named after a hair salon is definitely one of the most Leo things ever in life. I will also say I kept like I asked my dad like, did you name me specifically because of that? He was like, no. He's mind you, the name Ebony means black. It means black, but he's like, no, it means like African queen. It means like my queen, like diva. And I'm like, baby girl, it does not mean that, but like I think I always say all that lore I think is why God decided to make me a Leo, because that's a hell of an intention to put into a person, right? But this my grand aunt, her birthday is actually the week after mine. So my birthday's on the 14th, hers is on the 21st. And so I actually ended up using like I put my my birthstone, because I love to wear my birthstone. I actually have a bunch more jewelry that is my birthstone. Hold on. I have a bunch more jewelry that is my birthstone that I got just to gift myself. Almost like an amulet, just because I thought about her, and I just felt like, because she didn't have any children, so I was just thinking maybe she just feels very very forgotten, you know, like she doesn't have any kids, she doesn't have any direct descendants to really remember her. Not to say that people don't love her and remember, but she doesn't she's not like her sister who have direct descendants to kind of carry on her name, you know. I put this ring beside my Bible for her, and then very soon after that someone was talking about like guardian angels and Papa Legba, and I'm like, Papa Legba? I'm not Haitian. Not Haitian, I'm West African. Um, I don't know anything about voodoo. But I put this next to my Bible for her, you know, just to make her feel remembered or whatever. I had some experiences with Ifa where like Oya was really significant to me as a redhead. Like I said, as someone who really strongly identifies with the color red, she stood out to me. But very recently, I just felt like Oya has nothing to do with me. Like that has like as much as I do think that she was there to open my mind and kind of invite me to things, I don't think that she really has anything to do with me. But lately, Ochosi has been very significant to me as well. Like I'm really, if you know me, for some reason I don't fuck with the color blue. I just never have. But like when he started showing up to me, I was like, okay, I'll take that, right? And if you know anything about the story of Ochosi, he works in threes, but Ochosi is specifically the one who guides you along the path. But for the entire time that I've been like thinking of Ochosi, I've always thought that he was literally the road opener himself. But after those weird things happened with the guardian angel and the Papa Legba of it all, I was like, my intuition is like, no, go back and read again exactly what it's about. And the road opener is not Ochosi. Like I said, he is the one with the arrow. He's the one who guides you along the path once it's been opened. It's Alegua who is the one who opens the road, and he can be synchronized to Papa Legba. And I was like, that is really fucking weird. Also, very interestingly, I have red and black hair, and I was like, that is Papa Legba, sorry, or Elegua all the way. And it's very interesting because like as much as like certain people in or certain deities in Ifa have like inspired me, um my grand aunt, her, I'm not gonna say her name, like I said, if you know you know, but the name that she went by is what you call people who are children of certain deities. So you would call them blank Oya or blank Elegua. And I was like, you guys, what the actual fuck? It's very strange because I'm not Nigerian. I'm not Nigerian. But like um where I'm from, I don't know why I'm being so hidden with this information. Like I said, if you know, you know. Like I don't know, I'm already being mysterious at this point, so whatever. But if you know, you know, there are a lot of people who have Yoruba names, who are very, very Yoruba names. You know, like my name, Ebony, it literally comes from the name Ebun. Like it's not like so I'm like, you guys, like, you know, I always say Jamaicans are my first cousins, but I'm like, you guys, I think I'm Nigerian on my daddy's side. Like yeah, but anyways, this is all super, it's all super holy to me. It's all super divinely aligned. Like I just saw 444. It all feels like it's meant to happen. Like I said, like it takes me back to childhood. It takes me back to a different time in my life. But really, just to put this out into the air, I do think hair is going to be the majority of what I talk about. It's already always kind of been my main focus. And honestly, when I decided that I wanted to pivot my content, it's based on pictures that I saw of myself with really wild hair. And I was just like, I used to be so cool. Like, where the fuck did that go? And I was like, I need to do something different. And I started with my real hair rather than trying on wigs. But you know, one thing about me, I keep a hairpiece on deck. You don't even worry about that. I'll be back. I'll be back very soon showing you how to do your locks with the wigs. Like it's not nothing. But yeah, like it's very strange. I feel like I'm returning to myself in a way that I don't know if I ever thought I was so lost, but it's an amazing thing to have back. Anyways, you guys will definitely be seeing more of me and my hair content. honestly, with my other videos, I was banging the bitches out. I literally upload 7 times a week. I'm like, I don't know if I necessarily have that in me anymore with this specific kind of content, but I would definitely be talking as much as I can. I'm really excited not to just to talk about hair. I want to talk about makeup and beauty. Like I said, I was a Sephora girl, and I think half the reason why it took me so long to do this is because I worked in beauty so extensively that I did not really want to leave my job and then come here and talk to you guys about that shit. But I think at this point, I've healed from that trauma. I feel for that trauma enough to discuss it. Like right now, I also want to talk about fragrance too in depth when I get the chance. Like right now, I'm wearing Queen's Caramel by, I believe it's Ellis Brooklyn. Bitch, you guys, this shit is so fucking good. I'm smelling myself like, goddamn, bitch, you're sexy. Like, but yeah, I'm just putting this out into the world to get started. You know, I don't really know where I'm going to go from here. I just feel like this is where I should start. But that's how, the rest of my content was. I just feel like I wanted to start. It might have taken a minute to kind of get it off the ground, to get it to where I wanted it to be. But it ended up going. And this machine, it's not a huge machine, but it's definitely a weld oil machine. If you're interested in stuff like that, all that stuff is still available. It might not be available forever, but it is right now. So I will go check it out while you still can. But yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.